Back in the game and well at the top, a king of the ring and calling my spots. I'm raising the bar to crank it a notch. I'm full of mistakes, cause life is a botch. Lights can get brighter and brighter. I walk through that curtain, my levels get higher and higher. Studied the best, in this generation I'm next. Super Kid Party, no doubt we just hit a suplex. Hooker by crook, survive if I let you, they stand to their feet. Sports
What's up, y'all? I am so excited to be giving you guys another episode of Life's a Botch. It's your girl Ash Betty, and I'm going to be running point this week. I'm super excited because we have a whole bunch of topics, as well as a whole bunch of other women-centered things to talk about that I really personally want to get into. So I feel like we should just get started, without further ado. By the way, obviously, miss you, Dwayne. We'll see you at the end of the month. As you guys know, since it's Women's History Month, your girl has been running point. So I'm super excited. I hope that you guys have been enjoying it as well. Thank you for all of the love on the last episode. It was so dope having my girls KB and Reese on. Shout out to them. Thank you guys for giving the show love and giving it some engagement. I think the video itself is almost at 100 views, which is crazy to me. So I'm super proud of it. And let's continue. Let's keep the good vibes going all month long. So I'm down to just get into it. So shall we get into what's cooking? So something that's been weighing heavy on my heart, and I'm sure all of the viewers at home, everybody listening, is aware that I have been kind of freaking out a bit about the Wrestlemania plans this year. I've been freaking out a little bit about WrestleMania 40. Obviously, we have a roadmap, but I feel like my biggest thing is that roadmap beneficial for us as fans and the talent backstage? So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So we obviously have our confirmed matches being the tag match for night one, which is the assumption for everyone. I believe it's confirmed night one main event, basically, at this point. It's all but confirmed. We have Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Actually, we have Roman Reigns and The Rock versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. I personally don't care to see this match. I feel like a lot of people are excited to see it, which is why I'm not being a straight outright hater about it. Obviously there's an audience for it and people are super excited for it, but I personally feel like the only person who looks good in this entire situation has been Cody Rhodes. I personally feel like this situation has undermined Seth a little bit. Roman has come out of it looking a little bit like a little bro. The Rock, the heel turn has worked for me. Obviously, I've been enjoying the heel turn, but I don't know. I just don't like how the Bloodline storylines have been cutting into the women's segments on SmackDown. There's just been a whole bunch of stuff that I personally have not been agreeing with that has come out of this match. So that is a confirmed match that we have. We obviously have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, as well as Io Sky versus Bayley. Seemingly, we have confirmed it is not going to be a fatal four-way, which I thought was where we were heading. It's looking like we're just going to get Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. I'm happy with that. You guys. I know a lot of people felt like Liv should be included in that story, but for me, I feel like Liv's story is big enough to where it doesn't need the inclusion of Nia and Becky. All being said, though, I am enjoying this little three-try feud that's been going on between the three of them that's fighting over the ultimate goal, which is Rhea Ripley. So I think that aspect of it has been dope. I feel like the spot where Liv and Becky made up after that fantastic match, we'll get into a little bit on Benny's block, but after that fantastic match that the two had, they shook hands, they made up. I feel like if Nia, having Nia come out and beat them up, that was kind of something that you would do if you were still trying to tease a fatal four-way. But no, it's looking like we're going to get just that singles match. Again, fine by me. And as we all know, last night they confirmed, Monday night, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, they confirmed the tag match that's going to be taking place for the Undisputed Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. So I believe that those are all of our confirmed matches right now. Just that was just off the top of my head. Now, we still have Bobby Lashley and Karrion Kross. There has been some type of teasing of a potential heel turn for Bianca. I personally don't think that I feel like there's more business and more potential, more stories to be told with Bianca as a face. So I kind of hope that they don't really go in that direction just yet. I'm team Bianca turning heel, just not yet. So they've definitely been teasing that. So some people have been speculating that they think we're either going to get Bianca versus Naomi. I personally feel like we just might get Bianca and Naomi versus the Kabuki Warriors. That kind of makes sense based off the promo that was happening on SmackDown, where Naomi was interrupted by Damage Control. Seems a little bit like Naomi's looking at them titles. I have mixed emotions on having Naomi be back in the tag scene if they choose to go with that option. But as of right now, we don't have too much going on besides those two confirmed matches for the women. So I'm just kind of trying to create situations. Like, obviously the Kabuki Warriors have to be booked. It's just, I want to know if it's going to be just a standard tag match, two-team tag match, or are we going to maybe get an 8-person tag match where they're just going to put like a whole bunch of people together and try to make something of this. I am not sure. Again, like another people who have been really, really popular this WrestleMania season that don't really have any bookings yet, Liv Morgan and Nia Jax. Where is that heading? Where are we going? So I'm just expressing a little bit of concern. I just want to make sure that my girls are booked. This whole entire Bobby Lashley Pride situation, I can't say if it's been successful or not yet. I can't say if it's been successful or not yet. So I just hope that the people who have been telling stories get that opportunity to continue to do so on the grandest stage of them all. Like, it's only right. It's only right that the people who have been over and who have been working their butts off consistently for this entire year get that shine. Oh, and of course it's probably going to be a singles match between LA Knight and AJ Styles, as well as there was another, Gunther and versus Sami Zayn, which I'm so excited about. I'm so happy. I know that everybody's upset that Chad Gable lost, but I don't know. I feel like Sami deserves the moment. I'm happy for it. Team Sami over here. So no complaints on that side. I just really, really, really am curious to see how the rest of the card is going to play out now that it seems as though the major spots have been confirmed and put in place. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Like, are you guys excited about this WrestleMania card? Do you think that it's strong? Oh, obviously we have the other confirmed WrestleMania match. These are all top of the dome. I'm sorry, guys. Jimmy versus Jay, which another match that I am super, super excited about. I like a week and a half ago, I was kind of feeling a bit abrasive about this WrestleMania, but there are a lot of like sleeper matches and match of the night contenders that I think will make up for the men's main event scene that's been happening, that's been ongoing and has been troubling me. But let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for this WrestleMania card? Do you feel like what the pivots and how they kind of moved away from certain things and put other people in certain places? Do you agree with those choices? Who's somebody that's not on the WrestleMania card that you need on the WrestleMania card? Like, for me, like, non-negotiables, obviously Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Liv Morgan. Like, I need those 4 women booked. That's all I know. That's all I know. Like, when I'm going to Philly, I expect to see those 4 women in a match. So we'll see. I'm super excited to see where it's headed. It's getting down to the wire now, guys. Like, we are almost at WrestleMania week, which I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. It feels like the year started. January was a little bit long, but then after that, it's just been hitting the gas ever since. So we'll see. We'll obviously keep following, and I'll obviously keep giving you guys my perspective and my thoughts. But let's continue on to the next segment in What's Cooking. We have the debut this past week on AEW Dynamite of Okada in AEW. That's surreal, obviously. Like, I'm super, super excited to see where this goes. The matchup potential is insane. I feel like a lot of the teases that they've been giving us so far has been really, really good. I was kind of surprised that they put him with the Elite, but it makes sense, I suppose, like just to give him, just to put him with a well-established team, a well-established heel team, just to really, really make sure that the crowd understands who he is a little bit better before they kind of cut the reins and let him go solo. So I'm excited. I feel like a lot of the conversation has been centered around attendance and Okada's performing in half-filled stadiums and all of that stuff. I personally just don't want to pay attention to that. I just really, really want to focus on the work, especially since I feel like business is going to pick up as we will get into in Benny's block. But yeah, that's really all I really wanted to say. Just shout out to Okada. I'm really, really excited to see what potential feuds and where he's gonna fit in Wembley. Like, where is he gonna fit in All In? The potential there for that card, man. So I'm excited. I'm extremely excited. So moving on to our last little piece of What's Cooking today, I wanted to talk a bit about the Hall of Fame, and not necessarily who's being inducted this year or the recipients of this year, because I feel like they're all deserving. I kind of wanted to talk about how strange it is that every year we only get one woman inducted, unless they're a tag team. Isn't that strange? We have so many men who get inducted every year. And generally, most of the time when they pick a celebrity, like the celebrity criteria, it's generally a male celebrity. So it's really feels so limited, which is why I feel like there are so many legends and it's taking so long for everybody to get their flowers, because they're picking one woman a year. Like, give us 2 to 3. Would it be so bad, like, if they gave us 2 to 3 women? Would it be so bad if the iconic Bull Nakano was inducted the same year as the fantastic Jazz or a Victoria? You know, like, it's so crazy to me that Bull Nakano wasn't even inducted yet. Like, I feel like I've been saying that all week since the announcement. Obviously deserved. Super, super innovative moveset ahead of her time, and from her look, just everything about her was just so unique to the time. I just personally can't believe that she hasn't been inducted yet. Such a trailblazer for this business and for women's wrestling itself. So I think that that's like a blemish on WWE's part. I feel like they need to fix that. They need to fix that, because yeah, like there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way, especially when they're inducting these huge names like a Paul Heyman, a Rey Mysterio last year, an Undertaker the year before that. It's like, we need more legendary women inducted into the Hall of Fame. I know that you're getting to them, but it's just happening a little too slow for my taste. We need to hurry it up. We need to hurry it up. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys feel like there should be more women inducted into the Hall of Fame every year? Because it just makes sense. It just makes sense to me. Like, at least 2 women, I feel like wouldn't even be that bad. So let me know what your guys' thoughts on all of the segments for What's Cooking today. We had some really, really good topics. I, of course, never do it as good whenever I am running shop. I never do it as good as Dwayne, but you know, we gotta hop into the car real quick and we gotta go to Benny's block. because I have some stuff to tell you guys about women's wrestling this week. I'm really, really excited. Let's start with WWE. Guys, I know that we have night 1 and night 2, WrestleMania. Oh, yeah. Stand and Deliver is my show. Like, Stand and Deliver is the show that I am genuinely, like, when I'm going to Philly, like on the drive, the train ride to Philly, I'm gonna be like looking out the window like, man, like I can't wait for Stand and Deliver. Like, that is I feel like that's going to be what I'm gonna be talking about leaving the weekend, just because, as you all know, NXT is my favorite wrestling show. NXT just has such a special place in my heart. So I wanted to talk about Stand and Deliver and where we see all of the chips falling for the women in NXT. So, one, I feel like it's looking like we're moving towards Lyra versus Roxanne again. Now, I am with it. Heel Roxanne versus face Lyra. As you all know, Roxanne has been kind of doing this kind of bubbling under type of heel turn. Like, it's been happening. This heel turn has been an ongoing thing for like a year, like a little over a year now. So I feel like she cut like a really, really good promo last night. Very much enjoyed that. So I feel like it makes sense. Do you think that Roxanne's gonna go away with the big one? Since she's getting called up, I feel like Roxanne's gotta get called up this year. Like, Raw needs her. Raw needs her. So I don't know if she goes away with the big one, but the potential there for a fantastic match at Stand and Deliver between Lyra and Roxanne is very, very high. I actually wouldn't mind. I know, like, I was kind of opposed to the Fatal 4-Way happening for Rhea's belt. I wouldn't mind a multi-woman match for Lyra's. I feel like that would actually be super, super interesting. I would love for Lash to be included. Like, everybody with me. Lash Legend. Like, Lash Legend. We need a championship opportunity for Lash Legend. I would love for her either to be included and make that match a triple threat, because that would be a banger. Just like the thought of that, like, whoa. Just to be in the building for that, worth the price of admission. Like, worth the price of admission right there. That has so much potential. Or I would love to see Lash and Jakara go against the Kabuki Warriors. Now, I feel like it's doable. Seth, Cody and Roman are doing double duty. So why can't the Kabuki Warriors do double duty? You know, the women are more than capable of doing so. I feel like if they put Stand and Deliver, obviously Stand and Deliver is going to be Saturday afternoon, we can easily have them just be night 2, so that they can have that night to decompress, watch the first night, and then night 2 they have their other championship match. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. I feel like that would be incredible, especially since Jakara and Lash have been putting that work as a tag team. NXT in general has been putting that work in their tag division. So I think that it's super, super important that they are rewarded for that, especially Jakara and Lash. To me, they have the highest momentum. They are a tag team through and through. I also think that Metaphor is the best faction in WWE right now, period. Obviously, last night, it's looking like things might be changing after that fantastic program between Trick and Lash last night. So we might be getting a babyface Lash era, which I would love. I would love. Lash is such a fantastic athlete and a fantastic person. Like, if you just follow and watch a little bit of her story, it's so inspiring. So I feel like her making that swap to a babyface would be easy for her. She's just so good as a heel. It would just be such a shame, because I feel like a lot of times, like, the sweetest people make the best heels. So in that regard, I'm torn. So I feel like there's like a couple different places where Lash could fall, but I'm with it regardless. All I know is that I feel like Stand and Deliver, I know that Sean is going to give us singles matches, not just championship opportunity matches. You know what I mean? Like not just championship matches. I want to see singles matches between people. So I'm hoping that we can fill that card up a little bit more with some other women feuds. Like obviously, like I want to see Kiana. I want to see Izzy fall somewhere on that card. I would personally love to see Kaylani get an opportunity, something, I don't know, like I would even take like a pre-show match, just like something where they can get like a good amount of time to showcase and get that shine that they deserve. Some other people that I would love to see in Stand and Deliver. I would love to see Jada Parker. I feel like she's still very green and still very new, but based off of how momentum has been going and how she's got like herself a little bit of a streak right now, it makes sense. She's in the season. I would love to see something like some type of inclusion with her in OTM. I'm not too sure what's been going on with her in OTM. Like she wasn't with them last night, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But if we could get Jada Parker involved in any way, shape, or fashion, I'm with it. Tatum Paxley, I would love Tatum to have like an opportunity. I don't know if she's going to be able to be fit in the card, so maybe like ringside for Lyra's match or something along those lines. Again, like this isn't necessarily what I want to see. It's more so kind of like predictions and potential ideas for where the chips may fall for Stand and Deliver. So yeah, Ariana Grace. There's like a whole bunch of women in the locker room that are featured weekly, like Carmen Petrovic, Gigi Dolan, that I feel like deserve a spot. But luckily, it's not my job to figure out where they'll where they'll fit on the card because I could see them doing a battle royale. I feel like where at WrestleMania it would undermine the women to do a battle royale. I actually think the opposite for NXT just because there's so many established characters and I feel like there's so much potential for character motivations and antics to make the match entertaining and for each individual woman to have an opportunity and a moment to do something memorable. Like that actually makes sense to me. Like actually like I would love to see a battle royale for the women just to make sure that everyone is included in Philly. So that's where I'm at with WWE for this week. We still obviously have the ongoing storyline with Damage Control, and Dakota Kai now is seemingly the face of Damage Control. I mean, I kind of called that direction. It makes sense since Dakota is also kind of used as a mouthpiece for the other members of Damage Control. I just feel like I don't know. I'm so excited for the match, but at the same time, I can't shake the thought that WWE had like the hottest feud at the start of WrestleMania season, and they purposely cooled it down so that other feuds and matches could catch more momentum. And to me, that's just really messed up. So that aspect has been a little bit disappointing on top of like since Bayley has made that babyface turn, she's not really like it's not ding dong hello anymore. I'm like, just because you're a good guy now doesn't mean that you got to stop the antics. Give me calling people idiots. Give me the ding dong hello. Well, maybe not calling people idiots. Maybe that's a little too heely, a little too heelish. But like give me the cackle. Like give me the same DNA of the character, just different motivations essentially. So I don't know. I'm excited. I feel like Stand and Deliver again. Like Stand and Deliver just has the most potential to have like the best PLE of the weekend. So I'm super excited. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are and where you guys think that all of the women in the division will fall. If you guys agree with me in my battle royale idea, I feel like that would be dope just because I would love to see all of the women in some fashion for Stand and Deliver. So moving on to AEW. Guys, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if my camera can focus. But it is March 13th. It is AEW Big Business Day. It's Big Business Day. Okay? One of the most important days in our history. Watch her not even come out. Watch her not even come out tonight. I'm like, today is the most important day in women's wrestling. The night just starts and ends. No Mercedes. I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, maybe next week then. Or maybe some other PLE, some pay-per-view. We'll see. But it is highly, highly speculated that Mercedes Moné will be making her imminent arrival to AEW Big Business tonight in Boston, of course. So obviously everything is set in place. If you're a fan of Mercedes and you follow her on Instagram, she has made posts that she is even in Boston. So the excitement is through the roof. I'm really, really excited to see where she's gonna fall on the card, because let me show you guys. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the card for AEW Big Business tonight. Obviously, this episode will be coming out on Friday, so we'll be a couple days removed, but I'll try to give my fresh and initial thoughts on TikTok, so that you guys can know how I feel and what my thoughts are if she, of course, comes out. So the only women's match that we have confirmed for Dynamite tonight is Willow Nightingale versus Rio. Now, Willow Nightingale has been kind of circulating the TBS championship scene, as well as Rio has been kind of building a little bit of momentum. She came back randomly a couple weeks back and has been kind of racking up wins ever since. No inclusion of Toni Storm. I'm thinking my initial thought was if Mercedes was going to come out, it was going to be during some type of Toni time segment. But since she's not on the card, at least confirmed, because I feel like that might be another swerve. Toni might be on the card for some type of backstage segment, some type of in-ring promo, something along those lines. And she might get interrupted by you-know-who. So I'm really, really, really excited. But we have to talk about the women's division and where it is right now in AEW and what the potential is for Mercedes and how she can either mold this division, like they can either mold this division around her and she can elevate it, how she can elevate it as well. So right now, I feel like TK since the new year, obviously we have had like a lot of rumblings and a lot of rumors that Miss Mercedes has been signed to AEW since January. So it makes sense that he has been featuring a lot more women's segments. He's been trying to put together a little bit more storylines. So I have noticed that effort on his end. But I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like there has been a couple of things that he has not stuck the landing on, which of course I am talking about AEW Revolution, Deonna Purrazzo versus Toni Storm. It's looking like Deonna is still going after Toni. So I'm curious to see where that's going to go and how that's going to affect or be affected with Mercedes' arrival. So I feel like there's a lot of potential. I'm just very, very curious to see where she will fit and where she will fall. Like, are they going to go the CM Punk route and kind of have her join the division and kind of like work her way up and tell that type of story? Or is she just going to kind of come and how she did in Tokyo, in the Tokyo Dome, kind of point at that belt and say, time's up, Toni, you know? So I am excited. I would like some matchups, like ideas that I would love to see. I would love to see the match that I have at the top of my card. It's not necessarily AEW, but I need to see Mercedes Moné versus Athena. I don't know how we get there, I don't know how that story will be told. I don't even know who should win that match, to be quite frank, just because of how well Athena has been booked and protected in ROH. It's kind of hard to say who should get that. Obviously, we have a debuting Mercedes Moné. She's going to be red hot. So you want to protect that booking and protect that momentum as well. So they have like a lot to think about when they book a match like that, but it's not my job to do that. So I'm just trying to sit back and watch a classic. Like, that's the match that I'm trying to see. A lot of people are talking about, of course, Mercedes versus Britt, a pillar in AEW, Mercedes versus Saraya. Again, like I mentioned this last week, as a Mercedes fan, that type of story is a little just because a lot of internet discourse for sure will start because of that, because with that type of match you automatically know what type of angle they would go for. So I would hope that they just handle it respectfully as possible. It's also interesting because, as I mentioned again last week, how like we don't necessarily know what type of Mercedes we're going to get. We could get our heelish, deliciously evil Mercedes, or we could get the red hot babyface. The red hot babyface who has the crazy trajectory and just has like a genuine passion for wrestling and wants to make things happen off that merit. So that could be potentially interesting, like a babyface Mercedes versus a heel Saraya. And I also feel like that would kind of help with some of the issues in telling a story like that. So, yeah, I'm excited to see that match as well. I can't lie. Mercedes versus Tony, that's going to be a huge one. But for me, I was saying Mercedes versus Athena. I'm trying to see Mercedes versus Jamie Hayter as well. That's actually probably like tied for me. Mercedes Moné versus Athena, Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. Like, they are the same level of want for me. And I'm not exactly sure when Jamie Hayter is going to be medically cleared, but I know that Tony Khan has been saying that her return is soon. So super, super happy about that. So I can't wait to see where that's going to happen. Similar to Okada, what I said earlier, where will Mercedes fall when we approach All In? I just feel like there's so many routes that they can go in her booking. For me, ideally, I kind of like the trajectory, especially since, if my theory is correct, and the first person she faces is Serena Deeb. While Serena Deeb is a huge pillar, a fantastic wrestler, she, in terms of like her place in the roster, she hasn't been in the main event scene in a while. So that kind of fits my idea of her kind of going up the ranks and kind of working her way up to the belt opportunity. So I don't know. I'm excited. We'll see where we're headed. It's looking like it's gonna be a really cool ride. Really cool and surreal ride. Mercedes Moné and AEW. Crazy times upon us. Crazy times upon us. So moving on to TNA, we had a pay-per-view this past week. So let me pull up a little bit of the information. TNA, Jordan Grace. Super fantastic match, triple threat match between Tasha Steelz, Jordan Grace, and Xia Brookside. I found the match to be really fun. I thought that it was very entertaining. I feel like Ash by Elegance kind of added that level that it kind of needed in that regard, just because we have somebody who is so new in Xia Brookside, and we do kind of have like a veteran, not even kind of, we have a veteran and Tasha Steelz. So the match overall made sense. I feel like it was good. It's very interesting to me that Xia is being pushed so heavily so early on. But yeah, I enjoyed the exchanges between the three. To me, I'm sure like the most viral moment, everybody was talking about the spot with Ash by Elegance when Zaya pushes Tasha into Ash by Elegance's chair. She drops the expensive champagne all over her, and as her, I don't know, her butler, I don't know what she calls him, goes to help her, and he just eats eats the floor. Like, excellent, excellent, excellent. True sports entertainment, if you ask me. I enjoyed the match. It was a standard match. I honestly feel like they could have, again, like I feel like a lot of times with these matches that they've been doing lately, it never really hits that third gear, you know. And I want Jordan Grace's this reign to be really really good. So I need her next competitor to bring it, to really really bring it. I feel like them picking this triple threat match was a for sacrifice was a good choice, but her next opponent has got to be somebody formidable, somebody formidable. And I honestly, like, I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't kind of keep going with the Giselle Shaw story. I was kind of bummed that was just kind of like the end of it. Again, like, I'm kind of curious to see where Giselle is at in her story. So very 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 intriguing. We also had a tag match with a shocking outcome. MK Ultra losing the belts to Danny Luna and Jody Threat, which was very, very surprising to me. I feel like they've just been kind of playing hot potato with these tag belts. And while it makes sense for MK Ultra to lose, in the sense that Masha, to me, would be a fantastic next opponent for Jordan Grace, if they were to go that route, they have like what, 3 tag teams in the knockouts division. There's not really too many places that they can go with that. So I feel like they're kind of at a standstill right now. They're trying to figure out who Jordan Grace's next opponent will be, at the same time as trying to figure out and get a good footing in this tag division. So I'm not sure. I'm not too sure where they go from here, which isn't isn't always the best thing to hear when you're doing these type of week to week coverages. But I'm curious to see where it's gonna go, because obviously we have Ash by Elegance kind of waiting in the wings, but it seems as though they're kind of enjoying where they're at right now and kind of playing up where they're at right now, and I've been enjoying that as well. So we'll see where it goes. Moving on to our final stop in Benny's Bot this week, we have ROH with the continuing women's TV tournament. Now, the week before, we had some fantastic stuff going on. I really, really enjoyed that Queen Aminata versus Taya Valkyrie match. This week, we had Red Velvet versus Layla Hirsch. Really good match. I feel like it was a bit of a predictable outcome, just because Red Velvet has like a couple more notches in her belt. She's way more of an established character from Layla, but I thought it was a great match. I enjoyed the match. I'm super, super happy that the women have been getting time to tell stories as well, like to have like an in-ring psychology in these matches. So that's been something that I'm excited about. Let's see where we're headed next for the TV tournament, because Red Velvet did take the W. She did take the W in this matchup, which I was super, super happy about. A bit of a predictable outcome, but I think it makes sense. I would love to personally see, because I know that we have Mercedes Martinez coming up next. Mercedes Martinez versus Abaddon. I feel like Mercedes Martinez is probably going to come out with the dub on that one. I would love to see in the semifinals, or I believe it's the semifinals we're coming up towards now. Give me Queen Aminata versus Red Velvet. Yeah. 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 I know that Billie Starkz is the favorite to win it, but I want to see how far Queen Aminata can go in this. I think that she has been fantastic in everything that she's been doing. So I think that she deserves that finals match. Billie Starkz versus Queen Aminata. That just makes the most sense to me personally. So we'll see where we're headed. We'll see where we're headed. We had a quick match between Abaddon and I forget the name of the home talent that she had the match against. It was like a quick 2-minute match. Mercedes was kind of ringside being like, yeah, that's all you got. So that should be an interesting match to say the least. That should be an interesting match to say the least. We still have Diamante as well. I believe it's seeming like we're probably going to get Diamante versus Billie Starkz unless there's more people in the tournament. I tried to pull up the bracket. I can't find it, but okay. Yeah, so it's seeming like to me, yes. So Diamante versus Billie Starkz, Mercedes Martinez versus Abaddon. And so now we're looking towards those were the quarterfinals. So now that we know that Red Velvet has won, it's looking like it's going to be Red Velvet versus Queen Aminata. And then we're looking to find out the winners of the other two matches in Diamante and Starkz and Martinez and Abaddon. So super, super interesting. I'm actually kind of excited now that I think about it because it's looking like we're going to get Mercedes Martinez versus Billie Starkz for the semifinals. So that's two really, really good matches that ROH has on their hands. And I'm excited. I'm excited for them. I think that it's going to be dope. Either Queen Aminata or Billie Starkz taking the gold. Either is a really, really good choice. It makes the most sense with the Minions and Training storyline that we have going on currently for Billie to take it. So I'm just here for the ride. I'm super, super excited to see where we go from here. So next, that's it for Benny's Block. Yeah, that's it for Benny's Block this week. So let's move on. I want to talk about, let me actually see, because I just realized we have Botch of the Week, but I don't think that I really have a Botch of the Week. I feel like I kind of listed my Botch of the Week earlier in the show. If anything, like my Botch of the Week has got to go to this tag match. Night one. Me and this tag match have serious beef. It's multi-layered. First being the reasons that I listed at the top of the show. It's making everybody besides Cody not look the best, not looking the best light. But on top of that, this night one tag match has taken away opportunities from yet another women's main event, potential women's main event. Io versus Bayley had that. They had it in the bag until they had to pivot this whole entire storyline. So I'm disappointed. I'm super sad. We all saw it coming from a million light years away, but it didn't make it hurt any less. I'm disappointed, and for those reasons, it's getting my Botch of the Week. Sorry. But now that we've covered the Botch of the Week, I do want to give a shout out, since we still are in Women's Month. I do have to give a shout out, a huge shout out to Miss Sandra Gray. I know, I'm sure a lot of you have seen a lot of her work. She is the iconic gear maker. She was more so kind of like a heavy gear maker for WWE around like the Total Divas era, especially. Like I feel like that was like really, really, really when she was working for WWE. As of right now, she is currently working for AEW. But all of that aside, iconic, fantastic gear maker. She is someone who has worked across so many different promotions, as well as someone who has just worked across so many different decades in this business. She is behind so many iconic looks, from the Bella Twins to Trinity in TNA, to her Naomi Feel the Glow era, like Jade Cargill's looks. She is a staple in this business. And I know that when she like officially and fully retires, I know that she's kind of retired, but she still does she still does Naomi's gears. So it's like you're not really retired. You're not fully retired. And I know that they say in this business it's hard to retire. So I completely understand. But Miss Sandra Gray, iconic and fantastic seamstress and designer, and her contributions to this business are so monumental, and we appreciate you so much. I just had to give that shout out and give a little bit of love and a spotlight to her because we are still in Women's Month, and I think it's important for every single episode of this month that we include and talk about women who make a difference, inspire people, as well as help people. Like I can't imagine what a great gear and what a good costume that fits your character does for you mentally when you're getting in that zone to go through Gorilla and see us, see the WWE universe, or see the fans, period. So fantastic lady, and I hope that she's having an amazing day. So shout out to you, Miss Sandra. But that is our show for this week. How'd I do, guys? How'd I do? But I'm super happy that I was able to sit down and talk with you guys about some wrestling, some women's wrestling as well. Be sure to give me some some ideas for what you guys want to see in the future, as well as what are your thoughts on a lot of the segments that we talked about in What's Cooking, as well as Benny's block. Let me know who you want to see, like which women you want to see featured for WrestleMania. Like who, not even just women, period, like in general, men and women alike. Who is someone that is not booked yet for WrestleMania that you need to see at WrestleMania this year? Comment down below. I would love to hear from you. But with that being said, make sure you follow the platform behind ours at OTS Media Co. We wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without Derek and the amazing work of the team. So shout out to them, as well as make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Ash Benny. Shout out to Highlight Reel. I'll make sure to put all of everybody in the team's social medias in the description down below. But that's it, you guys. Another episode down the tube. But I gotta make sure that I put those two sweets up. Peace.